All right, I'm so excited. I love what Chris is going to teach you today. I saw this deck. I'm so excited about it. So you guys can lose your minds one more time and get excited. Get your notebooks out. Get your phones out. All the things. He's about to teach you some epic stuff. We're going to get tactical. We're going to see. I'm not even going to get. I'll let him take it away. All right, guys, give it up for Chris Winfield.
Let's go. All right, thank you, guys, not you. All right. All right, thank you. Let's go. As I said, there is video of me dancing with my daughter. I think the timer needs to be reset. Yes, I will dance. I don't know what you guys are doing with the timer, but hopefully it'll... Anyway, yeah, that's right. It's a really choreographed thing that my daughter has us doing. It's wild. There is video of it because we had to, you know, long story. All right. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, great morning, great morning. So we're going to talk about how to stretch your media wins further and faster. So the power of leverage and amplification. So, you know, we learned a lot about how do you get media, you know, pitches, different things like that. But I want to talk about what happens once you have it. And how do you make it go further? How do you make it make you money? How do you make it get you more customers, more clients, more leads? And really be something that's an asset to you. So the cool thing about good media is that it works for you all the time. It's always working. That's why it's called earned media. So we have a saying that we say internally is that we pay for advertising, but we pray for publicity. And what that means is like we spend a lot of money on advertising, Facebook, all these different things. But when something goes viral for us, you know, when something really takes off, that's the stuff that we, you know, we're praying for. That's the stuff that really changes the game, and it's unbelievable. So like getting in like the New York Times, or you know when Nicole Mitchell went viral from the New York Post, or you know whatever that is, you know those are the things that we pray for. So we're gonna get into that. So as I mentioned earlier, my first big client was Virgin, and Richard Branson, who's right there, as you can probably tell, because it shows his picture and then says his name under it. You know, he really built Virgin on, you know, a couple of things. Taking risks, that was the big thing. Like if you read his whole story, you know, like even just how he started Virgin Airlines was just taking a risk. But he was a master, and still is, of publicity and getting attention. And, you know, being really... Who's got a phone going? Who is it? Yours, Sandy? All right, we'll just wait till. Okay, it's okay. It doesn't bother me that much. I love you, so it's all good. Just tell me when it's done, and I'll start again. We're good? All right. All right. So for anyone else, it'd be a good time to turn off your cell phones. Love you. All right. So, getting back to Richard Branson, I don't know what that ringtone, what was that, by the way? No, I want to know what the it was like a wild ringtone. Oh, okay, all right. I'm up here, though, so just, you can watch the video later. You got the real thing, baby. IRL, it's hard, right? We're so used to these damn screens. Even when we're in person, we're on them. It just opened. These are like the excuses I made in high school, too. And like, I was in trouble a lot. All right, so getting back to Richard Branson before my video played. So he said, this is one of my favorite lines from him: publicity is absolutely critical. A good PR story is infinitely more effective than an ad. And, you know, I truly believe that. So here's I mentioned this quick the other day, but just going to go through this a little bit because this was what changed my life. This little tiny blurb in USA Today where, I said I live, breathe, and die Google. And from there, literally within 6 hours, a woman who led a division of Virgin contacted me, and they became a client. And they spent, that was my first, I was going from struggling to them spending over $50,000 a month with us and, becoming our first multi-million-dollar client. And, that was an absolutely life-changing thing. So let's go through the direct ROI, because I think it's important to know. So obviously, I got that one client. She spent about $1.8 million with us over 3 years. I got referrals from that client to other people. So it's really important. It all started right there. I landed business using that client as a case study. Boom, direct ROI. I would be able to do that. And then I started working with other divisions of Virgin as a result of getting that first one. So that's all the direct ROI. So this is something important to know. The initial coverage, so I don't care if you're on the Today Show, if it's an article in the New York Times, if it's an article in Goop, if you're on a podcast, that initial coverage is 20% of the value. 80% of it is what you do with it. So this is very important to know, because a lot of times people will be like, oh, I got media, but I didn't do anything with it. I'm like, because it's too old. I'm like, when did it come out? They're like, oh, a couple weeks ago. I'm like, what? I'm sharing things from 2003, and I'm still making money from it. And I'm going to walk through, how to do that. But 80% is how you keep using it. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. How do we use that? How do we use that to make money, to get more clients, to get in more leads? So, to close more business. Now, the invisible ROI, because this is an important thing with media, and this is what a lot of people miss. The invisible ROI, I was in 30 plus more articles with that same USA Today reporter. Why? Because I treated him like he was my best friend. Did you hear the media? How many? It sounded like they were saying all the same exact things I told you in the morning yesterday, right? And somebody even said, did you pay them to say this stuff? No, it's because I know how they think. And, acting like they were my best friend, treating this guy. So here's a funny thing. When I posted that story on Facebook, this is the writer. He's like, glad that quote paid off for you. And I was like, oh, shit. He's going to send me a bill or something. But it did. And I said, yes, sir. And best of all, I got to know you. I don't know. Maybe the $1.8 million was better, but I don't know. All right. So, I don't know. He's a pretty good guy. Introductions to other reporters. So he would introduce me to other reporters. Why? Because people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. So he knew that if he sent me to somebody else, I was going to make him look good. So the same way that we've been talking about that, when you can help other people, that makes you look good. A good referral makes you look good. Social proof. I started being able to put that on my website. I started using that when I was trying to close deals with people. Expert status. This was so important to me, because now all of a sudden I was an expert that, from USA Today, and I could say that, I could leverage that. That was so important. You know that when I was talking about being one of a zillion companies doing something, all of a sudden I became the expert. Speaking engagements. I landed speaking engagements directly as a result of people seeing me and me sending out that article to people. And I started getting on panels, and that's how I met like Neil Patel and different people like that, Gary Vee, and more trust and ins with other media people. So this is an important thing, so that they know, all right, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows how to give good quotes. This guy, there's things like that just happen. All right, but that's it in terms of stuff like that. I don't like doing a lot of bullet points or anything like that. I like to always show real examples of things. So I'm going to show you all the different ways not all, there's a zillion, different ways you can leverage media. I just added this one literally as I was coming down here this morning, so in person. So if you're in the elevator and you were looking at the TV at this, I was going to say resort, it's a hotel, you would see that they are leveraging their media like crazy. So this says, playground for celebrities, models, and the About Town New York scenesters, bizarre. Then there was another one, most Instagrammable hotel in New York City. Another one, teched out hotels, the room of tomorrow. Why are they doing that? You're already in here. Well, it's a bunch of different things. One, you're in this hotel and you start to see that and you feel better about your decision, right? You feel better about your purchase. You're like, wow, I didn't know I'm a scenester or hipster or, whatever it is. That's cool. I can mention that when I go home. I was at I was at the most Instagrammable hotel in New York City, and if you don't believe me, In Style said it. But also that if people are, visiting or, going to PhD or whatever, all of a sudden they're sitting there and you can see that and you're like, wow, that's cool. And it's way better they know that it's way better coming from there than some random person or them saying it, right? So they would love to say that about themselves, but it actually takes on meaning when it has that media logo underneath it, right? Okay. Teched out hotels, the room of tomorrow. You go home, oh, I was in the room of tomorrow, really? Today? To yesterday? All right. Anyway. All right, Facebook. Let's talk about Facebook. I still love Facebook. I still love Facebook for organic marketing. Ads are a little annoying, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so here's Jen. What we love to do around media that we get is tell stories. We don't like going on, if you just start getting media and you get in the New York Times or something, and you can be like, I'm in the New York Times, and everyone's gonna celebrate you and everything. But then the fifth time, sixth time, people are like, all right, enough, we get it. You don't get the same celebration. So what do you have to do? You have to tell stories around it. You have to be able to relate. So you think about with all this stuff that I'm gonna show you right now, what you do is you think about the burning pains of your audience. What are their things? So for example, this was that Goop article that I mentioned yesterday. And Jen used this as an example to tell a story. So this was from a year ago or something when she did this. And she tells this whole story and shows us being featured. But here's the cool thing. She was doing this to start announcing that we're bringing back our live event. So at the end, it's a special memory to celebrate again because it talks about the in-person connections we help create through our dinners and live events, which, spoiler alert, are coming back. If you'd like to be part of the experiences we create to help make people more authentic, powerful connections, DM me today and I'll get you the scoop of what's about to go down. Now, that led to, a ton of leads coming in. Now, she didn't get up there and, if she had just said this, spoiler alert, live events are coming back. People are like, what do you mean, spoiler alert? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard, Jen. But she's telling a story, and she's wrapping it with the authority, the trust, and the validity from the media. Wow, I never heard of Instagram. So, with this, us being featured there and telling the whole story around that. So you think about the stories that you can tell. All right, Instagram this is a little different. This is still the same Instagram, but Facebook's doing a lot of rebranding lately, so they're changing from Meta to this. So yeah, thanks for the slide. All right, is Amy here? All right. So I'm going to give an example of Amy. So Amy, an amazing marketer. We're honored to be her PR firm. So this was the first time that she got featured in Forbes. So it was a cool thing how one woman broke through the glass ceiling and built a multi-million-dollar online course empire. So what Amy did was she took it and she said, here's how you can help spread this message. Now, why would people want to spread this message about, why would somebody want to share her article? Here's why. Especially for people that are in their audience or a client or a customer or anything like that. Because the same way that it makes you feel better that you're staying here at the Dream Hotel and, after you saw the most Instagrammable or, anything about that, it helps you to feel like you chose the right person. And it's an easy way for you to show that. It's much easier than being like, oh, Amy sold $70 million in courses. Like a normal person's not going to know what that means. But if you share an article, all of a sudden they're like, wow, cool. The same exact way when you guys shared the billboard. People are like, oh my God, congrats, you made it, all this. If you just showed a picture of you in Times Square, they'd be like, cool picture, right? But you showed the billboard and they're like, wow, you made it, that's so cool. I read all through the comments for all you guys, your family and friends, I was like, they were going crazy. So it's the same exact way. And the way I know how this works is my parents. I don't know if they're on the Zoom, but They usually are here, but my mom had an injury. But so, for example, I told you they're regular people. I mean that in the nicest way, mom and dad. But they don't know if I say like, oh, I did this amount in a launch or whatever. But they'll come to my house and be like, how do you have this apartment? Like, how do you have all this stuff? Like, what do you even do? And they've been to this event a lot of times. But they see me on TV, and I get a text. We're so proud of you. You're crushing it. And they're sending that to all their friends. I could have lost all my money that day, and they think I have never been doing better. So it's the same exact way for you to remember with your audiences, with the people that are already following you, the people that are already buying from you. It validates their purchase, their decision, and it's a reflection on them. So they share that and they feel better themselves. So this is what Amy knows. So what she did here was she said, here's how you can help spread this message. Read and share my Forbes feature with your audience, email, social media, whatever. Share a screenshot of your share. She set up a page just for that. Then when you share my feature by Friday, you'll get an exclusive invite to my upcoming workshop, How to Plan Your 2020. Now, that's a great lead gen right there. And you'll also be entered to win one of 3 full scholarships to Digital Course Academy. So it's then setting up a preview that she's going to be launching something. Now, here's how it is. So she also shared it on Facebook with the same thing. Got a ton of shares, all this stuff. Now, here's where it gets really, really smart. So, she puts it into her link tree, how to check out my interview with Forbes. Now, this is my favorite part. So, what she did was use a tool, and I'll show it to you in a minute, called Sniply. And Sniply allows you to create any button or any call to action on any page when you share it. So I'll just show you, this is Sniply right here. Add a call to action to every link you share. So basically what you do is you take that Forbes, you take that Forbes link and you put it into Sniply, and then you'll see what she did here. It looks like she's running an ad on her own page here. It says, which type of course would you create? Take the quiz and find out. Now that's right over here. So now why that call to action? Take the quiz, which type of course would you create? Because, all right, one, the article is about multi-million-dollar online course empire. So somebody sees that and they're like, oh, cool. Like, I want to know what kind of course I should create. Now, where does that go? It goes to this simple landing page where it says, what type of course should I create for my business? Now, what is that? That's the top of her funnel there, right there. So that's getting people in, taking the quiz, take this 2-minute quiz and find out which course you should create based on your goals, audience, and where you're at in your business, which is directly related to what she was talking about in that article. How smart and how simple and how effective, right? Right? Yeah, even my team, like Jen's gone, I know it's early and I know you're up, but like I was
the one cheering you
I
on.
might just play Sandy's video in a minute. Pro tip, it doesn't even have to be current. So, for example, again, here's Jen reusing content. Isn't it amazing how much can change in a year? And my Facebook memory showed a year ago, Chris and I flew to LA to be on a guest, blah, blah, blah. And this is us on Hallmark. But it was from the year before. Thank you. Yeah, Jenny Brown actually. Jenny Brown, stand up. So Jenny Brown's on our team. Jenny, so Jenny was the booker for this show. And yeah, and we put in work with Jenny to get on that show. We flew out to California. Yeah, Jen did like a whole talk with her, like a manifestation talk. And Jenny, works with us now. It's amazing, full circle. But getting back to Jen's post, it doesn't have to even be current. All right, TikTok. How the hell can you use media on TikTok, right? All right, I'm going to show you.
Vision boards are 100% effective. They actually work. Listen to this. On December 22nd, I began to visualize that I would be interviewed on the news within a month. It happened sooner than that. And guess what? My episode aired today. Check it out.
Our next guest is attorney Hugo Lord. He's been studying the stimulus bill and is here to talk to us about it and how it can benefit you most. But welcome. Glad to have you here, Hugo.
Thanks for having me, Hal. The same thing can happen to you if you believe and really fight to make it a reality. 2021 is your year. You got this.
Okay, so Dr. Hugo Lord started working with us right before this. And he never thought about using TikTok. Never thought about it. But he got really inspired, and we have that effect on people. And he's saying, "All right, I'm gonna try out TikTok." And here's what his things look like now. So he's known as the TikTok attorney. He has 5.6 million followers on TikTok. He's sponsored by TikTok. His business has exploded. Like, he's featured. Hey, look at his management. Like, he has he's on TV personalities, all this. And this is his most recent post. 1.2 million, 1.1 million, 2.4 million, 3 million, 2.3 million, 2.2 million. Literally, these were his last 8 posts, or 10. Sorry for the great counting. But here's the cool thing. So, and like, if you go and you type in TikTok attorney Hugo and like, look, is Hugo Lord a real lawyer? Who's Hugo Lord? Who's a lawyer on TikTok? Do lawyers use TikTok? It's crazy. Like, that's, he's just from this. So I want to show you something cool, though, where this all came from. So here, this is back right after he started, it started to blow up. He got like 50,000 followers or whatever. I was like, I just heard about what happened to your TikTok after you rocked that interview. And he's like, thank you, Chris. That means the world to me. I can't believe it. 50,000 followers in 2 days, 2 videos with over 2 million views each. I'm speechless. Thank you and Jen for creating this amazing program that opened so many amazing possibilities. I don't even have the words. I get cried. Thank you. And it started. I want to show you where it started. Like, this is it right there. With him, I don't even know. Like, it was like a Merry Christmas. That was his first thing. And then he shared that one where he was using this was like where it started. So that was what was the date? 12/25/20. So starting with 0 and now having 5.6 million followers and being just absolutely crushing it. He wrote me this message on Tuesday. He said, "I'm so bummed I couldn't be in New York City with you guys for Unfair Advantage. I'm wishing you all an explosive week of extreme fun. Thank you for catapulting my entertainment career. I'm beyond grateful. Please send my love to Jen." He's the sweetest guy and absolutely amazing. But so did you see what he did, though? He didn't just show his TV clip. He talked about how he was manifesting it. So he wrapped that into it. So there's so many different ways. So he knew, because that's something that makes him different as a person and, especially as an attorney, is his personality, his, what he brings to things. So that's what he did. He took the TV clip, showed the credibility, and then talked about how he manifested and how you could do that too. Okay. Email lists. Who has an email list? Hopefully everyone. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you something super embarrassing first, before I talk about how to use email lists. Okay. Let me set this up before I show it to you. And I've actually never shown this video. I have talked about this. I've shown screenshots of it. But I decided we should show it. I know Sandy likes videos, so. All right, so here's the setup. I was, I had this personal development and productivity business, and I was using media to build it up and get more clients and all these different things. And I got booked on Cheddar, which is, the biggest streaming news service. And at the time, Cheddar filmed at the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street. It was the first time I was going to be on Cheddar, and to be on the stock exchange, you have to wear a suit. I don't really like wearing suits, a little bit, but at that time I really didn't. And I was nervous about this appearance for some reason, really nervous. And this was during the summer, and so I'm like, all right, you know what I'm gonna do? Exercise helps with nerves, right? So I'm gonna go for a fast run. So I go for a run along the river, and it was 95 degrees out. It was so hot. And I timed things wrong. So I get back, and I don't have much time. I'm not really good with timing, and I'm always late and things like that. So I get back, and I'm like, fuck, I'm really sweating. Bad. Like, bad. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a cold shower. Cold shower, you think you're supposed to take a hot shower? It didn't work. It was worse. It was worse. And then, like, I'm looking at the time, counting down. I put my suit on. That's way worse now. And then, like, I couldn't find a cab. Like, ooh, the Uber canceled. Like, all this stuff. I finally get a cab, get down to Wall Street, and he drops me off at the wrong entrance. So I have to literally run because it's like 5 minutes until. So I have to run, like, all the way around this block. Then I have to go through security, all this, and I get in, and it's bad. Like, I am sweating and red, and I look awful, like, so bad. So I'm, like, trying to, like, you'll see in this video, I'm trying to wipe sweat off, and, like, the 2 anchors are looking at me like I have something wrong. They're like, who is this cracked out guy that we... I swear to God, like you, I don't know if you'll be able to see like their looks of disgust, or they were just doing that to me when, you know, it was B-roll. So, without further ado.
Welcome back to Cheddar, brought to you by the folks over at HP. You know, increasing productivity in the workplace, Corey, can begin with your morning routine. Did you know that?
I'm an early riser. So
there we go. Of course, that's according to entrepreneur and marketing expert, Mr. Chris Winfield, who joins us right now live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Chris, it is great to have you here, my friend.
Great to be here.
I want to ask you this question. What are most people probably not doing in the mornings that you say
Running?
to do, or is there something they're doing that you say completely avoid?
Most people are doing something that they should not do. It's hitting that snooze button
I knew you were
right away.
Look, I'm
You
trying to
hate
wipe
that,
sweat
right?
off.
Yeah, the snooze button. So if you think about it, so for me, I used to hit the snooze button like crazy. That would be the first thing that would happen to me every single morning. And what I didn't realize was the
gets
message
worse.
I was sending my subconscious mind was, you're gonna procrastinate on everything today because this is the first thing and we're gonna procrastinate on that. So if you don't hit the snooze button, you switch that up. You're accomplishing the
shiny
first
I am.
major task of your day. So if you're sitting there hitting it, your mind is taking that in and saying like, all right, we're gonna keep procrastinating all day.
Okay,
I'm
that's an
praying for
interesting
B-roll,
take on it, but,
like,
I mean,
because I'm
can
waiting
we
for a
really
moment to be able
control
to
that? You
wipe
hear
my
people
forehead.
all the time saying, hey, I'm not a morning
trying
person.
not to
It's
really
just
make
not
eye
my thing.
contact with me.
Is it that people aren't
Right
a
here,
morning
I'm,
person,
like,
or they
grab the
don't have the
napkin.
mindset that would allow them to be a morning person, and how can they change that?
Yeah, I wasn't a morning person ever, and I'd read about all these CEOs like Richard Branson or people like Tony Robbins who woke up early, and I'd be like, that's good for them, but that's not going to ever work for me.
My shirt's soaked.
So it's just a matter of changing that whole thing. So you can do it really slowly. You can start by
We'll
just
show one
getting
more
out
head
of bed.
wipe,
It
and
doesn't
then I'm
even
gonna
matter
shut it
about
off.
waking up early. Because it's not really about what time you get up, because there's the whole thing with productivity. It doesn't matter what works for other people. It matters what works for you and your lifestyle. So if you're somebody who doesn't need to get up early, don't get up early. But you can just switch it up so that you're not hitting the snooze button. You're not doing these little tiny things. So that's a really important point for that we like to think about.
So, Chris, we were just talking with you off camera a
Boom,
few
all
moments
right.
ago about some
All right, turn
different
it
business.
off. No more, I can't watch anymore. All right. Okay. Yes. So, why the hell would I show you guys that? And what the hell does that have to do with email? So, yes. So what are some of people, for us, if we think about like what are some people's objections or reasons that they might not work with us, is they think that, it's easy for us. We're too polished. We never make mistakes. Or what would happen if something like that happened to them? If they went on TV like a sweaty mess and, the reporters were giving them dirty looks, wouldn't that be the end of your life? So I wrote an email, a newsletter about this, and I told that whole story, and I showed that picture, and even used an arrow to show how bad it really was. So, so here's the cool thing. What I did, though, was then I wrapped it up. I talked about how, I was so thankful for this, and because it taught me these lessons. It taught me that showing up is everything, because I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to show up for that. I did not want to. I wanted to then, the cab driver to get lost, or, me to call and be like, oh, sorry, I can't do it, or whatever. Number 2, bad stories or bad experiences often make great stories and lessons. And, people don't want perfect, remember that people don't want perfect. Perfect, as Jen said yesterday, is a lie. And then resiliency is a muscle, and we need to constantly step outside our comfort zones to build that muscle. And I think I linked to our event right there. And, you know, at the bottom, I said, I forgot to add one other cool part to the story. I got booked again a few other times on the same network. I completely crushed those interviews, and no, I didn't go for a run before. So one of the things was, I got so many people. Yes, you can clap, thank you. Thank you, Jenny Brown. I got so many people writing back to that newsletter, you know, and just being like, oh my God, thank you so much for sharing that, or, you know, a lesson that they took away for it. We got so many leads as a result of that. Now, that was just wrapping that story. And then also, if you notice, I said, like, listen, it all worked out great. I wound up getting booked back. You know, all these other things happened as a result of that, okay? Ads. By the way, I never showed that video. I just found it this morning. I think I had buried it. I like renamed it something else, like don't show. Ads. So how can you use media with your ads? So here's one way. So this is a company called Mindbloom, which is like a psychedelic company. And here's the interesting thing about this. The future of mental health care may lie in psychedelics. Forbes. Doesn't even say Mindbloom. Doesn't even say this works. But just showing that gives that extra credibility. Now, if Mindbloom had said, the future of mental health care may lie in psychedelics, you're like, okay, I don't know who Mindbloom is, and I don't want to go. But like, I see this, I'm like, oh, wow, Forbes has their logo there. You know, movies are such good examples of, you know, of using their, you know, their ads or their reviews and all that. And that's a great thing to follow for us, you know. So here's, for example, a guy that we worked with at one time. You know, here's his ad as seen on CNN, Fox News, CNBC, ABC, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. So, you know, why? Why is he doing that? Because there's like trading penny stocks is something where it's like, wow, really? It's kind of scammy. But all these different places featured him, and, you know, okay, let me check it out. Landing pages. So here's how to, you know, here's, for example, what we do. You know, you'll always see this. Chris Winfield and Jen Gottlieb have been featured in Today, Time, Inc., MTV, all these different places. You'll always see that. You'll always see us talking about the different things. You know, many times when I'm introduced on stage, it'll say, like, it's been in 200 plus media outlets, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, if you look at the videos back there, so this is for our Be on TV Bootcamp landing page. The video backgrounds for when somebody shoots on a iPhone, what we do is we just created video backgrounds of all the different places our people have been featured. So that is going the whole time. So you're seeing all that credibility subconsciously, and that seeps in. Here's Opt-in Monster. You know, again, very simple, like many of you do, having those logos right on there. Now, make sure you actually been in the places and it's not a press release. Like, don't do, like, there's a lot of, like, idiots that are out there. You probably get the DMs on, I get DMs like, would you like to be featured? And I'm like, yeah, I always go back and forth with them too. I'm like, really? How do you do that? I'm like, well, it's press releases. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, die. Sales follow-ups, very, very important. You know, so when I was building different businesses, you know, like this is like when I'm trying to, I was trying to close a coaching client, and if you look at the bottom, it says, P.S. read the Inc. article in my signature about waking up in the morning. Now, one of the things I was going to work, this guy's a wealth management guy, and one of the things I was going to help him with was his routines. And, you know, so I said, like, I didn't say, like, look at, you know, here's a bunch of different tips. Go to Inc., read about me. See that I'm kind of a big deal, buddy. Here's another one. You know, another client. If you get a chance, check this out. How to get 40 hours of work done in 16.7. Basically, my entire work system boiled down into one post. Now, it just lends that extra credibility, and it changes things. Okay, one big case study, then I'm going to get out of here. I just like saying that. I'm going to be here all day. I got a lot to do. All right. So, leverage, leverage, leverage. I like to make things work over and over and over, make it as simple as possible. So I'm going to share an example of this, one of my favorite examples. So I wrote this article, a blog post, how to get 40 hours of work done in 16.7. So again, this is when I had a completely different business and I was, building it. And this was just like the productivity system, that I had discovered and, put a bunch of things together. So that was the blog post. It did well on my blog. It got like 93 comments, got a lot of links and all these things. So, and, it had lots of different ways for people to get on my list. So this is what's called a content upgrade. So what that means is that you're giving somebody a download that is related to the article. So it's an upgrade to what they've already done. So it's like they're paying you with their email, you're giving them a deliverable, which is gonna make them even better. So here's what's really funny about this. So enter your email below to download this free 32-page ebook and discover how to save 23.3 hours each week. So the other one was called how to get everything done in 16.7. What's 40 minus 16.7? What's 40 minus 16.7? Exactly. And so people download that thing like crazy. So the next year I was like, that did really well. What if I could make it go further? So Medium, medium.com I'd been playing around with it a little bit, and I'd seen things go really viral off of there. So I was like, all right, what do I have to do? So I got to change some images. I can't have that stupid guy in the stock photo with the arrow. I don't even know what that means. And I need more hipstery images. Looks like Angela waiting for a subway, if she was a hipster. She doesn't take the subway now. So I just literally, I went to a different stock image place that was like more hipstery based. And I also shortened the title down to How to Work 40 Hours in 16.7. Other than that, nothing changed, except you're not allowed to have pop-ups on this website. Most websites where you're publishing don't allow pop-ups. So what I had to do was just create a simple little landing page where it says, click the image below to get access to my free 32-page ebook. So they could either click there or click there, and it would bring them to this landing page, which literally took me 3.5 minutes to set up. And it just said, what could you do with an extra 23.3 hours each week? And this, I just used something called lead pages to do. So look at how simple that landing page is. Like, that's as simple as it gets. So I was like, let's see what we can do with this. And by the way, when they would click on that, then they would get the download of the 23.3 page or 23.3 ebook. So I sent this out to my list. I asked them to vote on it, do these things. I was really specific and did some other cool things. So right away, it got about 102,000 views, which is pretty cool, and 28,000 people read it, and 2.8 thousand actually really liked it, and they became fans. So then I was like, all right, that's cool. That's a good start, and I was getting I got a couple of thousand subscribers to my email list from that. But I was like, how about we go even further? What can I do more with this? So there was a blog, or there's a company called Buffer. Does anyone know Buffer? It's a social media tool, yeah? Okay, so they have a very, very popular blog, and I had been one of the first people to ever put their button on my website as a favor to them because I knew the founders back in the day. So what I did, so again, law of reciprocity, or reaching out later on, I reached out to the guy one of the founders, and I said, hey, I just wrote this post. It's a top story on Medium and has been for the last day. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is that I linked to you, and I shared and I always link to you, I think, in everything I write. Now, with this, I did not even ask him to do anything. There's no call to action here. Why? Because I know I had so much goodwill with this guy, and I knew how he is, and that also, this is like complimenting the shit out of him. So I knew that he would turn around and be like, hey, could we feature this? Because they do a lot of syndication stuff. So he said, wow, this is incredible. Would there be a way for us to republish this on our blog with credit and all, of course? Why, of course, Leo, I'd be happy to. So Leo introduces me to his editor. and I did some quick research on her, Courtney, and I saw that she was really into, one of her real passions was this organization called Girls to the Moon, where it was all about empowering young girls. And so I talked about, the article and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, by the way, finally, in light of all you do to empowering girls, thought you'd enjoy this article about my daughter. So that my daughter had, gotten really involved when she was like 5 or 6, involved with a shelter in the East Village and raised a bunch of money for them and created a little business, and she got featured in the media, had nothing to do with me. And so I knew, though, that would really resonate with her. So remember yesterday, the media was talking about, finding things that they actually care about or they're passionate about. So, and it's not like, I didn't just say how it's great that you do all this stuff to empower girls. I showed an example, how it actually, why it's important to me as well. So, she freaks out. Oh my gosh, that story is amazing. Vivian's my hero. And then she asked if, I would like to be a regular contributor for them. Of course. Okay. So here is the new article, the next version of it. How to work 40 hours in 16.7, the simple technique that gave me my life back. So all we did here was change some images and added the simple technique that gave me my life back. Very, 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 very simple. Now, here's the cool thing. They left in, click here to get access to my free 30, they left in my call to action. So I remembered that they have syndication, so other big magazines and websites would pick up their stuff. So I asked them, would they be willing to talk to Fast Company and all these different people and see if they want to pick up my article? Boom, here it is in Fast Company. The simple technique to fit a 40-hour work week into 16.7 hours. So this became the #1 story on Fast Company, which is a really big website. The cool thing is they also left in my call to action. So I am getting all these people now from Fast Company that are also downloading that ebook and getting on my mailing list. Okay, so, and look at this. So if you do a search for how to work 40 hours in 16.7, there's over 7,000 people, 7,000 websites picked it up and did something on it because it went, semi-viral. All right, but I wasn't done there. So I mentioned the other day that I write for Inc. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to write an article about this. I'm like, but I can't keep using the same exact thing. So I'm like, all right, how to work 40 hours in under 20, and kept it really that simple. Then I got it syndicated on Business Insider. So we just had to go long. We just had to go long now. I used to work 80 hours a week until I stumbled across a technique that cut my office hours down to 20. Okay? Same exact article. All right, so what the hell happened as a result of this, Chris? That's probably what you're wondering, or you might be wondering, is Sandy going to play the video again? All right, I love you, Sandy. So here, unique visitors, 71,432. How many conversions? How many people I got on my mailing list? 41,314. 58% conversion rate. That's crazy. Most importantly, that was hooked up to a funnel. So boom, this is what started coming in over and over and over and over and over, okay? And I didn't have to do that much, really. It was the same thing, just changing some images, changing. So it's really, really important to just remember how easy, and that things don't have to be difficult, things don't have to be complicated, things don't have to be brand new, things don't have to be super fresh. Here's the important reminder I want you to take away from this before I'm done, okay? The initial coverage is 20% of the value. What is the 80%? Beautiful. Hopefully it's on here. It would have been so much better if I clicked it and then it went. Don't worry, you guys got it right. All right, there you go. All right, who feels more confident about being able to make their media work for them? Who feels less confident? I'm going to see if you're not raising your hand. I'm going to do this one more time because I will come around, and if you feel less confident, I'm going to be really amazed. All right, who feels more confident about being able to get more from their media? All right, Michael, you don't? You're on phone. I caught you. Come on. You can't sleep when I'm speaking. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you guys so much.